Hey, welcome to our second coffee chat. This week we're starting off with a really interesting question from Abigail that was left over from last week about the fact that we've lived in a few places overseas and how it's affected us in terms of minimalism.
Yeah. So basically we lived abroad in Dubai and Toronto, but this was the very early 2000s and pre-minimalism. So in both of those places, we actually managed to accumulate stuff. Although we left here with nothing, we accumulated stuff in both places. So from a minimalism point of view, it didn't really influence us at all. And actually, we have a funny side story to share about our time in Toronto.
So when we got there, we had to furnish our place. So we bought everything, including appliances. Cheapies, mind you.
Yeah, cheapies from Walmart.
Yeah. And then we dragged those things back with us to South Africa.
Yeah,
and we couldn't use them because the voltage is different.
Yeah,
you know,
so we're talking such cheapy appliances like blenders that were really useful. The blender was actually useless there. And we saw fit to pack it in a box and bring it back to South Africa when we left Toronto 18 months later.
Yeah.
I mean, that just...
And then there was like quite a bit of admin around trying to figure out how we could use them. And we would have had to have bought a transformer or something, which was hugely expensive, probably more than what those things cost together, you know?
Yeah, so anyway, so the short answer is it didn't influence our minimalist lifestyle at all. If anything, it added to our maximalist lifestyle by getting us to bring stuff home that we were apparently so attached to.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
If you're new here, I'm Sporty and this is Ange.
Welcome to Mostly Mindful, where we encourage GenXers and beyond to live simply and age with intention.
And please remember to subscribe, like and share. And if you have a question for us that you'd like us to answer, leave it in the comments below and we'll try and get to it.
Our next question is also a follow-up from last week. Rosalie spoke about the fact that as she lets go of things in her 40s, she's actually feeling younger and freer than she did in her 20s. Rosalie, you said you wanted to see more of our daily activities, and we do actually have some plans in the pipeline, so look out for that. But for now, you wanted to know what we do for entertainment and that kind of thing.
And do we listen to music or play games?
Yes.
It's actually quite a tough one because we used to watch a lot of series and things like that. And before we started being a little bit more intentional, we listened to music 24/7. The radio was always on.
Long time ago this was.
Long time ago, yeah. And I don't think we played games then.
We played backgammon.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, Sporty is referencing a long time ago. We're talking well over like 25 or more years ago.
So the point of that was just to illustrate the contrast.
Yes, because it's also like that was another sort of minimalist approach in letting go, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, we don't listen to music anymore. What did you say the other day that was so nice about that? You said we don't listen because we meditate a lot and we've got a lot of different practices. So what did you say? Our life feels full. I can't remember. You said something really deep and meaningful.
Silence or something.
Yeah, we just prefer the silence nowadays. Yeah. I mean, I do try sometimes to put on Spotify, but the music actually irritates me. So I just enjoy the silence.
And also, I mean, especially now, because we're living in this sort of little garden spot, the sounds of nature are so magnificent here.
Yeah, we've got so many birds.
Yeah, birds. There's quite a few cats in the complex, so you hear them calling a lot. It's just, I don't know, I prefer, it's much more relaxing.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, once a week we join our meditation group for satsang, so we get our music fix there anyway. We all sing bhajans together.
Yeah. And then for entertainment, definitely not watching series anymore. No more Netflix over here.
No.
But we do have one or two like faves on YouTube, and they're sort of, one of them is an adventurist, the other one is a cyclist. She cycles all over England, and then the other one lives in Svalbard,
the
northernmost island or something near the Arctic. So
they're all super interesting in their own way. And what's nice about it, Sporty had another cool point. You're full of good points these days.
Can you believe it?
She said, you know, back in the 80s, when you were watching TV, you would get like your, whatever you were watching, Dallas or Magnum PI or
oh my word.
Really showing our age.
Yeah.
And it would come on a Tuesday and then you had to wait till next Tuesday. And now it's like that again. So rather than binge watching stuff, we've got our favorite people. Like we've got this young gay couple that we watch up in Halifax in Canada, Tyler and Todd. And so we only get that on a Monday, and like they all post either once a week or sometimes even less than that. And it's these really juicy nuggets. I think what we can do is I'll make a list of them and put it in description for you, because it's, you know what, it's so much better than watching like the rubbish that's on Netflix. I know I sound like an old granny, but I mean, you don't want that stuff in your consciousness. You know, we used to watch The Blacklist, which is all like,
my word, murder and mayhem.
Yeah,
it was like, terrible, and I loved it.
Yeah, both of us did. Oh. So no, don't do that. Do this.
Yeah,
listen to us.
And then on the games front, I love board games. I love board games. Anything like physical that you have to move things around and think a little bit. I don't like computer games, so that's definitely not an option. I've tried a few like murder mystery type games, and that didn't work.
So we've got a chessboard, which we bought and we've used twice. I keep meaning to learn chess, because I know only the basics. But the reason Sporty's going on like this, because she does love games, but I am not a big fan. But lately I've been thinking that we do need to do something, because it's really good, like from a brain perspective. So
especially like strategy games, you know, like chess and backgammon actually is also good for that. I mean, the other ones, you know, the ones that I love, you know, they may be a little bit, you know, general knowledge and whatever else.
So we'll get back to you on whether or not we get back to games.
With that,
so there you go. Another long-winded answer for you. Let's have some tea.
So Vicke asked us, did you ever do a video about decluttering? And yes, we've done a video about decluttering, but it's more a practical one, you know, about actually how to. Her question was about what our philosophy is around getting rid of stuff, which is quite an interesting thought.
Yeah, so it sparked an idea for us, and we're planning a video around this very topic in the next short while.
Thank you, Vicke.
But in the meantime, the basic answer here is that it very much depends, you know, on current circumstances, on what it is and what we're busy with at that point. Sometimes we donate, sometimes we sell, but we'll go into more detail in the video, so watch the space for that. Alonememe wanted to know about the slip-ups that we referenced in a recent video. I can't remember which one it was, but we'll put it in the description. So it was pertaining to, I think what we were talking about is like purchase slip-ups, that you have to think before you buy stuff. And then I said, yes, we still slip up occasionally. So then I spent some time yesterday trying to think of slip-up examples, and I came up with a few. In another video, we referenced some bicycles that we had and then just promptly donated them.
Yes.
And I was thinking what happened with those bicycles. Context, we had the most amazing foldies that we bought, Dayhan foldies, and they were so cool, and we rode everywhere. We loved them. So backstory, wait, we have to go back here. Sporty is one of those poor deprived souls who didn't have a bicycle as a kid. She only learned to ride one as an adult.
Yeah.
So getting a Dayhan for her was so perfect, because they're nifty, they're easy to ride. They've only got, like, ours only had 7 gears on the one hand, and it was just, they were so perfect.
Yeah.
And somebody decided that they wanted them, so they stole them.
Yes.
And then Dayhan was no longer in the country, so we found these other bicycles, but we didn't think enough through the details, and me in particular, because they were quite big, so they were they were not great for sporty. Like
And heavy. They were
at all.
heavy.
Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable, awkward ride for her.
Yeah.
And then, like, she didn't like hers, so then I didn't like mine because I'm childish. So actually, I don't know what happened, but it just wasn't fun. We were imagining that we were going to cycle together, and we didn't. So that, like, we should have thought more through those details.
Yeah, we didn't do the normal due diligence, and that means due diligence of what we are thinking, not necessarily what, if the bike is a good buy.
Yeah, because it was a good buy, and they were good bikes. And then what else did we have? Oh, okay, this one came up. That's
a current.
So we've got these cheap Android phones.
Oh my lord.
So Sporty had an iPhone that was busy dying, and my current Android phone was also at the end. So then we decided we're going to go and buy new ones. And again, I don't think we properly thought through the details, and we got ones that were just a little bit too cheap. We were a little too frugal in our
entry-level smartphone.
And they just, now it's going to be, I think if we bought them a year ago, it's a lot.
Yeah.
They should be able to last longer than that. So that was also...
We're going to have to replace them quite soon.
Yeah, that was a
so that's not
purchase fail. What else did I come up with?
Oh yeah, very big ones. Ooh, these ones. So we're still smarting, by the way.
So I put the car in the apartment, and like on the one hand, you can't foresee the future. So we thought we'd done all our due diligence, but I remembered that we also promised ourselves that we wouldn't buy a car again and we wouldn't buy property again, and we went and did both. So we've spoken about this in a last video, but I brought it up again because it just shows how important it is to really think through the details.
Like in one of our videos, we suggested doing a 30-day wait. So when you hit on this great idea or grand idea that you're going to buy an apartment for whatever reason, wait for 30 days before you go rushing into it. I think you and I...
In some cases, even longer.
Even longer. But I mean, the apartment, we bought that in less than 30 days of thinking.
Yeah, and I know why. Because we fell for the scarcity trap. Because it was buying off plan, and like if we waited for the next phase, it would have been more expensive. So we're like, no, we have to get it.
We must buy, and
yeah.
And we bought one that was actually not ideal, if you think about it.
It wasn't our first choice.
Living on the third story was great because of fitness. I mean, we covered that in one of our videos. But it was south-facing.
Yeah.
No sun.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Anyway. Yeah. And now the car is a whole other debacle, which is she's going to get her own video, because now we're trying to sell her, which is...
The admin...
Yeah, so I'm not going to whine now. I'll whine later about that.
I'll listen to it again.
Suffice it to say, we did a video ages ago about our purchase fails. So go and check that out for some more entertainment. But those are just some of the many fails we've had.
Yeah.
I hope it inspires you to do better.
Please.
I think it's time for a rusk, hey?
Oh, it's time for a rusk.
We shall
you guys know what rusks are. Biscuit in Afrikaans, and what do they call them over there?
They don't get rusks there. It's
don't
like
you get
biscotti is kind of a thing.
It's like a farm biscotti.
Farm biscotti, yeah. So we'll see you just now after our farm biscotti.
Cindy, happy that you're enjoying our coffee chats. Your question was about why are we qualifying mindful in mostly mindful?
Yeah, so that... I think I came up with that ages ago with the blog, and the basic premise was that we can all make a difference in the world. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be Leonardo DiCaprio or what's her name, Greta Thunberg or something. We can all make a difference. Like we can, if you can't be zero waste, then you can recycle, and if you can't be vegan, then you can eat less meat. So. Yeah. That's what that's where it started. But then Sporty came up with another cool idea just yesterday when we were chatting about it.
Yes, so I was thinking that mostly can obviously also apply to all areas of your life. A lot of our viewers talk about that they want to be more minimalist, more furniture free, but it doesn't really fit in with either the family or their space or health reasons or something like that. But mostly is enough. So you do what you can manage, and if it changes your circumstances to the better, then you're being mindful.
Then that's the win.
Exactly.
Well, folks, that's it for this week. We'll see you again next Sunday for some more coffee rusks chit chat.
Bye.
Sporty. Third humdinger of a cool idea within two. I know why you're laughing.
No, not me. I'm not laughing. They're going to come knocking on my door for special effects.
I'm telling you, hey? Like
I
don't know why they've got CG these days. They can just call you.
No, they can just call me. My hands.
My hands.
My hands.